You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you. Empower life with Cleopatra.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Happy Sunday. And I cannot believe it's almost the end of June. I mean, we've still got about another week or so to go. But what? How time flies. Hello, everybody. It's going to be a great show tonight. It's going to be a great show. If you are in the chat, please put something in the chat and let's know that you are here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now, tonight is going to be a good one. So I'm going to welcome you again to Empower Life with Cleopatra, your home of truth, transformation, and unapologetic conversations, guys. Tonight, we are going to go into things that you probably will not want to talk about as a guy. But tonight, we're just going to uncover a lot of things today. It's the beginning of something powerful, right? We are going to take off the armor. We are going to lift the veil. We're going to go deep down behind the mask. This is the first of a 4-part episode. And the title of today's show is Behind the Mask, the Secret Struggles of Today's Man. Tonight's show is about everything you don't want to see, or you don't see in men: the private battles, the unspoken traumas, the tears they never cry, the depression, the hidden secret behind the paycheck. You know, when they ask a guy, "How are you?" and they just smile and say, "I'm fine," but deep down they're not really fine. Tonight we explore the dark corridors of silent screams, male depression and suicide, the mask of success burnout, pressure, perfection. You know that thing about real men don't cry, the deadly lie that ruins generations. So I ask you, is success just a shiny coffin, or, is it something that guys are willing to make at all time, at all costs? You're so keen to have success that you don't even care about your own mental health. Are we castrating our children, our young boys from birth, because we're trying to get them so perfect in being successful that we forget about their mental health? Why are strong, capable men ending their lives in silence? If these questions shake you, guys, good. That's the whole idea. You are in the right place, because tonight we break the silence. If you would like to be a guest on the show, guys, please feel free to reach out. But before I go further, massive love to all my amazing subscribers. I am so grateful for you subscribing. If you're new here, welcome home. We're still on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers by 30th of June. Guys, my birthday was this Thursday, and all I asked for my birthday was for you guys to subscribe, okay? So please subscribe. That's my birthday gift, all right? And to all my returning royals, my co-hosts, thank you so much. If you want to join me on camera, if you want to be a future guest, if you got a product or a service or goods that you want to promote, just hit me up on empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com. If you've got a secret or you've got a confession to make, do the same thing. Hook me up on empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com. And if you want to be anonymous, we can make that happen too. But if you're watching on replay, please remember to watch it to the end, because that way YouTube algorithm will recommend the video to somebody else. So joining us tonight is a cinematic genius, right? Honestly, is a visual storyteller, a man whose lens has captured Africa's heartbeat projected it across the globe. Guys, I am talking about Uzodinma Okpechi. He's got over 25 years of powerhouse experience. Uzodinma has directed over 150 music videos, 18 African Magic originals, and the gripping Netflix series. Remember Mystic River? And then the Prime Video, Kamsi. And oh, do you remember the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Nigeria? Yep, he did that too. So from the voice of Africa to the Gulda Ultimate Search to consulting during Mark Zuckerberg's visits in Nigeria, this multi-award winning filmmaker is not just a storyteller, he is a trailblazer. So get ready for insight, inspiration, and unapologetic truth. Guys, let's welcome our cinematic titan, Uzodinma. Thank you so much, Uzo, for joining. And now we've got also British Sierra Leonean, Mr. Colin Archie-Pearce. This guy is also a powerhouse and has worked with Nollywood legends like Patience Zokor, Desmond Elliott. He's racked up to 50, no, 60 film credits. And listen to this, over 80 international awards from BEFTA to Cameroonian Film Academy. As CEO of Archie-Pearce Production Limited, and a senior manager at London Underground with nearly 30 years of service, he's mastered leadership on both screens and behind the screens. So not just on the screen, but behind the screens. He's a husband, a father, a grandfather, a mentor, a cultural icon who's lifting up the next generation of African filmmakers. And tonight he's here to drop wisdom and truth bombs like never before. So, guys, let's welcome our amazing guests once again. Welcome, guys. Welcome. And to you, my
Thank you.
co-host, my virtual co-host, welcome to the show. And I look forward to listen. You guys have to contribute to this chat today, right? So don't hold back. It's going to be raw. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be unforgettable. Yeah. So let's get behind the mask, gentlemen. And I want us to start from the head, not from the heart, right? So first of all, let me see who is at the chat. Anybody here yet? Who is here? Who is here? Who is here? Let's see. Oh, we've got Amaka. Hi, Amaka. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, everyone. She says, looking forward to today's show. I bet it's going to be fabulous. Trust me, it is going to be fabulous. Cindy, thank you, my darling. These are my ride or die friends, by the way. These are my ride or die. They're always here for me, my ride or die. Hi Rita, Riri, my baby girl. How you doing? And Maureen, thank you so much for joining. And Maureen says, a big welcome to all our guests. Yes, welcome to everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get straight to it. First of all, gentlemen, when you think back to your younger years, was there ever a moment when you felt like it wasn't safe to show your weakness? Was there ever a moment where you felt it wasn't safe to show your weakness? And what was that? What was the cost of that? And I'll start with Collins.
Well, it's easy to say, okay, let me put it this way. Men, for us, we tend to have this ego. We don't want to let people know we're weak in any area at all. So I would say when I was growing up, going to school, yes, there was a time when they realized that I am so weak that if you tease me or mock or anything, I would cry. You
Mm,
understand? And because people like, your colleagues at school, they just want to have fun. They're all young and they will do it on purpose just to tell people. Sometimes they even put a bet that I'm going to wind him up, so he's going to cry. So it's it's not easy. But again, obviously, those are the moments I reflect and I said to myself, I wish I was strong enough to stand
mm,
it because they'll call you all sort of names. They call you like chicken, they call you like whatever the names they would call you just to let you feel that you're not strong enough. And us
yeah.
men, I think it's not the cost of that. I was ridiculed almost all the time. You understand? So it's
Mm,
better for us, if possible, to hide your feelings or your weakness so people don't know.
mm. So even now you still feel that way, that it's still better to hide your weakness so people don't know, even at this age.
Well, yes. Well, I think there is a question you might going to ask, which I don't want to go into yet, but
Yeah.
still at this age, I tend to.
Okay, okay, interesting. Uzo, I think he's got some technical issues, so I'm sure he'll join us in a minute. But in the meantime, let me ask the second one then. So, as you grow into success, whether it's in your family or in your career or in leadership, how do you navigate the pressures to stay strong, if you, especially when you're breaking inside?
Well, being a successful person, because if you've gone into success, you're a successful person. People look up to you, and within yourself, you feel proud and you feel good that yes, I'm a mentor, I'm a role model. People want to be like me. And if you have that up here, that people want to
Mm,
be like you want to be strong and let them see the strong parts of you. You
yeah.
understand? So when you grow into success, the first thing that you have to always try to remember you're up there, people look at you, emulate you. When once you start showing weaknesses, or if you're under pressure and you start to like breaking, leave it
Mm,
inside. As soon as it comes
right.
out, they see it, that's the weak point for you, and they will start using that if they have to do anything to hurt you.
Right. Okay. 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 So in other words, you're a leader, and as a leader, that you always have to be perceived as being in control, as having strength all the time,
All, yeah,
and you can't be seen as weak.
no way.
But but leaders have flesh and blood flowing through their veins, though.
Yes, the ego in you. Come on. I'm like, say for example, now I'm leading a team and
Yeah.
we fail, like a football team. Let me just put it that way. And we fail and they
Yeah.
see me so down, so depressed. And I should encourage the teammates to say, you know what? Okay, that's not the end of life. Let's do
Mm,
better next time to succeed.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to make sure that it's not revealed, it shouldn't show out.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me ask Uzo the very first question then. And the first question was, Uzo, in your younger years, though,
Yeah.
was there, when you think back to your younger years, was there ever a moment when you felt like it wasn't safe to show your weakness? And what was the cost of that?
Well, funny enough, um, if my memory goes very well, there was never a period in my younger years that I wasn't able to, let the world know who exactly I was back in the day. And even now, you can tell Cleopatra from the
Oh yeah.
little you know about me. I always speak my mind. So it's not something
Yeah.
that just happened along the line. It's
Mm,
something from way back. And maybe as the show progresses, you
mm.
guys will find out how that came to be. It was actually
Okay.
from my mom, but that will be an expose for later. So
Oh, I
for
can't
me,
wait.
from um, my younger days and all that, yeah, I have been able to, face my fears and move on with life generally. But it doesn't make me a perfect person, and it doesn't mean that I'm not an emotional person. I'm
Mm,
a very, very emotional person. But I try as much as possible to sink the heart and the head, you know, at different times, and also know when to actually be very vulnerable and when not to be. But hey, it's an ongoing conversation, and I'm glad we're having it on.
yes, absolutely. So I'll ask you the second question then. As you obviously now started growing into your success, you became successful, whether it's in your family or in your career or in your leadership. How did you navigate, or how do you still navigate the pressure to stay strong, even when, gosh, you're filled with trepidation, you're breaking inside? How do you still navigate to stay strong? What you do?
Well, back to my childhood again. I lost my dad at age 7. I barely knew him. Yeah. So thankfully, we were just two boys. I'm the youngest of the two, or the younger of the two, so to say. Yeah. And my older brother then was 9 years. So we were just getting to know our dad when he passed. So my
Hmm.
mom was a school teacher who became a headmistress and all that. And it wasn't easy for the poor woman, but thankfully again, we were just two. So she was the one that brought us up and saw us through all our growing up years. And like I mentioned earlier on, I noticed that when I was younger, that my mom normally wakes me up early in the morning to ask for me to greet her, to be the first person she would talk to. So I love the
Mm,
line. I had to ask her one day why that was. And she was like, any day I'm the first person to greet her, that the day normally comes out very good, you know. So
mm.
from way small, I learned to value my greeting, even till date. If I greet you
Mm,
twice, I never greet you the third time. You must
mm,
answer between those first two. If I've noticed
mm.
I've greeted you once and you are one of those that find it difficult to answer greetings, I'll try the second time just to be very sure that you are actually that type of person and never ever greet you again. I'm that kind of a
Wow.
person. So those strong values were things that were inculcated when I was younger. And
Mm.
till date, you know, what the Bible says about training up a child the way the child
The
should
way
go,
to
and the
grow.
child will never, depart from it. I
Absolutely.
think I didn't fall far from the tree based, based on that. So from that young age, we were able to cook. There was no lady among us apart from my mom and all that. Basically, things that men would not, be taught back in the day or something. We learned to fend for ourselves, not as in doing menial jobs or anything. No, my mom's
Mm.
salary was able to do all that. But, you know, from house chores to things that you do to cooking and all that, we learned that, and that kind of was building confidence and value. You understand? So even till date, I think I still have a bit of culinary skills and all.
Oh,
So
that's so
basically,
fun.
for me, my mom helped shape that childhood, and she did a damn good
Mm,
job.
mm.
Yeah. And although she passed then, I was 33 when she passed, and that was a
Right.
painful part for me because I was just getting to make, hay and all that, and she didn't stay to
Oh,
really enjoy
to
the fruit of her
enjoy the
labor.
fruit of a labor.
So that's
Oh,
it for me. That's the downside for me. And playing on emotions, yeah, and all that. See, I believe that crying, yes, men should. I don't know whether I'm jumping the gun or
yes, you
something.
is. Yes,
All
you
right.
is,
All
Duncan.
right. All right, but I am one of those that believe that men should cry if they need to cry. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Let me quickly take the comments from the chat, and then we'll go right back to that comment you just made. Cindy says, "I think men should start rallying around themselves to support themselves and change this narrative about making themselves vulnerable." Yeah, because men don't want to be vulnerable because they don't want to be seen as weak. I still don't get it. Abim, thank you so much, Abim, for joining. Abim says, "Wow, I had the same experience. My mom always made sure I was the first to greet her in the morning for luck in her business." Wow, do you know something? I never heard that until today. That
No,
is
seriously,
absolutely
even to
profound.
date,
Absolutely
even to
profound.
date. Okay, I'll tell you what. I was in was it last year? I want to be sure of the date. There is this store that I go to buy production equipment. It's a big store in Lagos and all that. It's supposed to be something like our own B&H, but on
Mm.
a very, very, very small scale or something. So I was there. So I noticed that the shop owner kept stalling, kept stalling, kept stalling, kept stalling.
Oh, Uzo has frozen. But while waiting for him to come back, I'll take this chat from I'll take this comment from Cindy while waiting for Uzo to come back. I think Nigeria guys, apologies, because Nigeria network, because he's dialing in from Nigeria. You know how interesting Nigeria network is. That's all I'm going to say. Nigeria network. Um, Cindy says mothers also should start training their sons that being vulnerable is not weakness. Even the Bible says Jesus wept on the cross. He showed vulnerability. He expressed pain. Colin, right? What do you think about that? Yeah.
Well, I know it's a debatable question or whatever assertion people is going to make. Everyone is different. For me, because of my experience when I was going to school, as I said earlier, people realize I used to cry a lot when they tease me and all of these things. I tend to be bold and firm. I can cry inside, but
Mm,
outside, it will bring memories, and I believe that people take advantage of that. Yes, Jesus wept on the cross. yes, it shows that he was human and he felt the pain and everything. But it's a case of, as I would put it, I'm not saying men should not cry, but it's
Mm,
that kind of myth that when men cry, yes, they see you as whatever names they can call you. So for me, I cry
mm.
inside. If I want to cry again, I will do it when I'm alone
Right.
because it's nice to
Okay.
take it out, but not in public.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so Uzo is going to join us as soon as the network decides to behave itself. Listen, I'm going to have a go at Nigerian network again because I've done it once before.
You have
Nigerian
to.
telecommunications, can you guys please see up and do something about this? The world is becoming really a village now. It's a global village, right? There's more interactions and communications on the internet as opposed to face to face. So can you guys please see up and just stop this thing about um, network problems all the time? I was having a go at Nigerian network on your behalf, Uzo, right? Because I'm sure it was network problems.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was actually my phone. So I'm on my laptop now. Hopefully this holds. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I take it back then, Nigerian telecommunication. This is what so many times
Well,
now.
I'm used to hearing that. It's okay. This was. See, even the phone is back.
I'm so used to hearing that. Okay. Cindy says, personally, I respect men who show a bit of vulnerability. So Uzo, I think that we have for and we have against. All right. So Uzo has no problem with showing vulnerability because Uzo is a lion. Like Uzo is a man's man. And that's how I see him. Uzo is a man's man, like in every way. No shaking. Like
No
he is
shaking.
he is like this. Like when you see, you know that yes, this is a man. But if he can still cry, and is it for me? Yeah, is I doff my hat. I doff my hat to guys who express vulnerability because for me, I respect. I agree with Cindy. I actually respect them because it shows that they are human. They are not supermen. Even Superman has cried before. Hey, what are we talking about? But anyway, I like the fact that we have a for and we have against because that's what this conversation is about.
That's
But
correct.
when many men burn out in silence, especially those considered to be high value. I don't know what high value is, when they call them the successful men. And due to their success, they don't even have time for themselves. They burn themselves out. A lot of them do. How do we break this dangerous cycle of perfection and performance? You see a lot of guys actually one minute they are fine, the next minute they get into the office or they are out or whatever, and they just drop down, and that's it. How do we break this cycle of trying to be perfect and trying to be successful? Uzo.
Yeah. For me, I think it's a psychological thing, first of all. Yeah. Um, you have to be able to, apart from the upbringing, which is very, very, very important. I keep going back to it. Um, a lot of men these days, I'm not talking of our generation and all that, talking about those from 40 downwards, and um, maybe the parenting style and all that, the parents didn't have enough time for them. They were all, probably brought up by nannies or house helps or what have you and all that. And that is what is impacting now on this, from Gen Z to the other. I don't know their chronography and all that,
Yeah,
but
neither
I
do
have
I.
just noticed that from 35 downwards, yeah, they are not bringing up men again. They are bringing up, a whole lot of people that are not men. And
Yeah.
want to sound, offensive to any group of people or something, but hey, first of all, I am a Nigerian and African, and we have our cultures and we have our values as men. And I also want to believe as a person that emotions is one of the attributes or characteristics of a human or something.
Human being. Yes.
So yeah, something. So and you if you can't now tell me that because I'm a man that I wouldn't be able to show my emotions or something, or men don't cry outside or something. No. We've seen presidents cry on live camera. It depends on how hot you are and what your feelings are at that moment, or probably your backstory too, because everybody has a backstory. So if something happens that is an emotional trigger for you, yeah, you're not going to start holding that thing back, because if you do, it has its own repercussions too. It might not be something that will now affect you either, psychologically later, because you're trying to suppress it, or lead to something else just because you want to save face, so to say, in public. So for one,
Mm.
if you ask me, I would be, you know, that straight guy that I am, telling you to your face that this thing is supposed to be like this, vis-a-vis what you're doing, and how wrong it is from this perspective, and how right it is from this perspective. I know it sounds easier than done, but that's the kind of person I am. And I believe that truth may hurt at that moment, but in the long run,
Oh, it's gone again, but I'm sure he'll come back. While waiting for him, Colin, do you want to respond? Please.
Well, I support him. Though what he said makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
because I remember when I lost my nephew some years back. So I used to play the guitar. My daughter was actually there with me. She was doing the clarinet and I was playing the guitar.
Mm.
And it was so emotional for me, I started to cry. But the thing about it, as he was saying, and it does make sense, it depends on the circumstances, you know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to burial or something that you can't control your emotions, that is different. If you're at a funeral and you cry, that's understandable. But when
Mm.
you're something is happening, like say for example, you've been beaten up by your wife and you start talking to someone and crying, that's for me, it's like you know what I'm saying? That's where most of the time, sorry if I'm being like sexist or whatnot, but the female is like the weaker vessel. So when even if the woman is at fault, when she explains to someone and cries, you can see how the person move with compassion to courage and comfort her. But a man, you talking and you cry, he's gonna look and say, "But be a man." So it depends on the circumstances. Like funeral, losing a loved ones, yes, definitely that one you can't
Mm.
control, especially if it's someone that you've been so close to, and looking and saying, "Well, this is the last time I'm seeing this person."
Mm.
Here's it. The memories that will bring the tears. You understand? But what I'm talking about holding back is the one I can control. But certain circumstantial situation, you might not be able to control it. It will come out. And people will not look at you as a weakling. They'll look and say, wow, he's actually like, he's feeling the pain, losing a
Mm.
loved one.
Mm.
But I think Ozzy is back. Perhaps he might want to continue where he stopped.
well, I think I actually stopped before the computer stopped me. So, but I hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to be circumspect in everything that we do as humans,
Mm.
generally, talking about both genders, as in male and female.
yeah.
So, but since we are concentrating on the male gender and all, we should be circumspect, yes, with what we do. Nobody is
Mm.
saying we should be overtly or covertly like this or like that, but we are saying that there are certain times that emotions come, let those emotions flow rather than suppress them. That is what
Yeah.
I'm telling men. Rather than
Yeah.
suppress those emotions, let it flow. You know,
Mm.
that is for me, basically. And it works for me. I've seen my friends, once, start talking and they start crying, and I'm just looking at them because it's something that I can do too. So
Mm.
at that moment, you would think that I'm going to come close to lend you a shoulder or something. I'm not going to do
Mm.
that. I'm going to let you cry. And I know in the next 1 or 2 minutes, you get yourself, you'll be composed, then you continue. That's where
Mm.
you find out that it was actually load shedding, so to say, at that moment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because this cry now is a culmination of what has been happening or what has happened to get the person there to come to you. Maybe the person comes for help and he hasn't ever come for help before or something. and he's feeling he has let himself down by even coming for help or something or so. And so come on. So you're not going to beat somebody that is already down. You're supposed to, the only time you're supposed to look down anyway on anybody is to pick the person up. So I allowed that moment to just, play out. And for all the times this has happened, I found out that it works. When they are leaving, even if I can't render the help that they have come for, they feel better and they feel elevated because that's what they should have done anyway before coming, but they have been suppressing it, and they probably have been in surroundings where people will have laughed at what they have done or something. I don't know, or toxic surroundings or something. So hey, I will be for you
Interesting.
to always, be that pipeline to make your emotions flow. Yes, you have to curtail, not to make it, grandiose or something or dramatical. But once it's sincere, yeah, I think it's a winner.
Perfect, perfect. And Rita says, I personally don't like to see a man cry as it breaks me down as a woman. So, my advice to men is to face the facts of life and seek advice and solutions on how to resolve it. You see, this is the thing. It takes me to the next question, anyway, where guys they always want to they want to be seen to be always in control, always on top of things, nothing phases them and everything. But deep down, maybe even psychologically, they are not okay. They are not fine. Mentally, they're not even fine. So much pressure. They don't even sleep at night. So, when was the last time you truly asked yourself, am I okay? Like, honestly, this time, genuinely ask yourself as a man, am I okay? And then you said to yourself, whatever, yes or no. I'll hold that thought. Let me quickly take this chat. Testing Niger, my Testing Niger, thank you so much for joining. Mwah, thank you so much. And says, hello all. Load shedding. I think was agreeing with you, Uzo. Said spot on. Load shedding. Absolutely. So, Collins, when's the last time you asked yourself, am I okay? And what did you answer yourself?
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I went through a nasty divorce 2015. And
Wow.
it's a point, yes, after 24 years of marriage. I don't want to go down that road. I just want to decide something here. So looking at it, no fault of mine. My ex-wife wanted to move on, and that's it. That's the best I can say. I sat down and asked myself, as you saying, because I was trying to be strong, but deep inside I know that I need to talk to someone. I needed to talk because I've been holding it. My kids like looking at me thinking, oh, that is strong. But I don't want to show my weakness to them. So I went for counseling, and the pastor was saying to me, you know what, if you want to cry, you cry. If you want to shout and scream. And I was just shouting at the pastor and screaming at him, saying, you because I'm a man, you didn't believe, you didn't listen to me, but you were like so much inclined to like what my wife was saying because she was crying. I'm not gonna cry and whatnot. I was lashing out. He was just looking at me. When I finished, he said to me, are you finished? I said, no, I have more to say. And I started talking, and I took out everything, explained to him how everything started and blah, blah, blah. And he said to me, well, are you okay? Then I asked myself, am I okay? I said, well, talking to you now, I'm okay because I've taken everything out of my chest. I've taken everything off my chest. I believe that I'm going to move on, and that's not the end of life. I tried to move on, but it was not easy for me. So I was trying to be strong. And one thing that helped me when I went for counseling the second time, he asked me, how was it now? Like from the last time to this time, how do you feel? I said, I miss talking to people. Then he said,
Mm,
listen, be yourself, take everything off your chest, talk, just make sure you have someone you can confide in, explain to the person, keep talking, that would help. But when you bottle things up, the day you're going to explode is not going to look good. So, but it was not easy. It was playing on my mind. Am I going to be like single forever? Am I going to get married again? And lots of things playing on my mind. But as a man, I try to be strong. People who know me were sympathizing with me, saying, "Oh, it's going to be well." I was like, "Oh, come on, yeah, come on. I'm going to move on." But deep down, it was not easy. So
Mm,
most men who ask themselves that question, "Am I okay?" Within
mm,
yourself, you're not going to lie to yourself. You know you're not okay, but you just want to give the outside, the world, the sunshine, thinking, "Oh yes, all is okay. I'm a man. Come on, I'm going to move ahead. I'm going to move on." But that's the reality of life. You hide it inside. So for me, that moment, I kept asking myself. Then I said, "No, I'm not okay. I need to talk to someone." And that's
mm,
what and Ozzy was just saying. Sometimes you just let it go, let it out.
mm.
But us men, that's ego. That is in us. We want to like we don't want to look weak, and people start ridiculing us, thinking, "Oh, come on, that no, he's a chicken, or he's this and that." It's difficult though, but I hope we're going to break that one day.
I hope so. I hope so. Also, before you said that, before I don't want to forget this comment. Based on what you just said, I noticed though that this issue about men showing weakness and strength or whatever, it is actually it's an African thing.
It is.
African men are so they've been so ingrained to always be strong no matter what. You're a man. A little boy is crying maybe because somebody took his ball and he's crying. And the woman says, "Are you mad? Why you still crying? Don't you know that boys don't cry? Spit." And the boy is like,
Uh,
"Hmm,"
you're dead
you know,
right. Exactly.
and that's how they start. So that even when things are so bad, they think in their minds, "I'm a man. I shouldn't cry." Meanwhile, the guy is exploding inside. Yeah? Uzo, please take it away.
Oh, all right, yeah, I hear you, and my brother too. I hear you, and you hit the nail on the head. But one thing we also realize as humans, I don't know about any other person, but hey, I will speak for myself. I believe in God, and if God had kept quiet, there won't be no world. You have to talk. That's just
Mm-hmm.
it. If
Mm,
God kept quiet, there won't be word, any word at all. There will just be void. Because God started speaking, that was
okay.
why things came to be. From day one to day six, he kept speaking and things were becoming. He kept speaking and things were becoming. So keeping silent is you trying to really suffocate yourself, as it were. It's like somebody that is grasping for air and all that, or somebody that is drowning, and you keep taking in more water. You will eventually drown if
Mm-hmm.
help or rescue doesn't come.
Yeah.
And in this case, the rescue is you just talking. Look at the what our brother just shared now. He had to seek counseling.
Yeah.
Yes, as Africans, it sounds foreign to us, but thankfully the church is there. Even if you cannot go to see a specialist, so to say, or
Mm,
something, or because of societal stigma, some people will say they can't go see doctors or something, even when they
Yeah.
can afford it or so. But hey, the church is there. We have counselors there and
mm,
all that, people you can actually talk to, or if you have a friend that you trust very much that you can share your secrets with. It's not all friends you can do that with. But hey, if you have somebody you can confide in, that is it. You shedding it, like I said, load shedding. Because if you allow that thing suppress you, you will be amazed how quickly those people you are thinking will laugh at you will also forget you once you're put in the grave.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Very true.
And it boils
Very
down to
true.
you living your life for people instead of living your life for you.
Yeah.
At the end
Yeah.
of the day, you have to live your life for you and not for anybody else, first of all. That's just it, because it's your life and it's your race.
Totally. I couldn't agree with you more. Maureen says, yes, that's a question men need to ask themselves more often. Am I okay? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how do we then create spaces where men can actually feel safe to speak without judgment? I know that there is one of a friend of mine who's also a guest, usually a guest on this show as well, Mr. Chidi Umeanu. He has a forum called the Over 50 Businessmen's Forum, where men in their 50s get together and they talk about everything from, if they're going through anything, they share with each other, they encourage each other, they go out together, they play sports together, they talk about finances, they talk about everything. And those who need support, they help provide support for them as well. So I know that there's a space there, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think we have enough of that, especially for the black man, because a white man can easily talk to somebody because they're emotional people. Black men feel that I can't talk to anybody because he'll start looking down at me and start disrespecting me. You'll see me tomorrow, he will say to me, Look at that man that is so and so and so and so, whatever." And because of that. But how do we break that? And how do we now create spaces where men can actually feel free to speak if they're going through anything? Um, Uzo?
Well, it has to start from you again as a person. Yeah, I like the over 50 idea thing. It's lovely.
Yeah.
My only caveat on that will be for them to stay true and for the things that they discuss amongst them
To
to
remain
be,
there.
within that circle of friends and all that. Because you find out that in some of these things that you share spill out. And how does that happen? It happens because one person out of that group spoke to another person and it's not supposed to be. So, and once trust has been lost that way, it is very hard to recover. So, but the idea is good that people are coming together to form groups, where they can help each other, where they can talk, people of like minds of likes creed or status, as in married or single or something. I like that idea, and it's a step to follow. But
Mm,
another thing I will advise is, like we have said already in the course of the program, is you have to want to win. You have to want to live. 24 years of marriage, he is still sitting here and talking and advising people. It is because he has to pick up his own pieces, his
mm-hmm,
own broken pieces, and say,
mm-hmm,
hey, marriage or not, I am first of all a human, and I know that I have done A, B, C, and D. Even if I have faults in A, B, C, and D, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Like he said, it's easier said than done. But he's here today, and I'm glad for him. So many other people won't survive that. They'll probably go into alcohol or into drugs or into something. And at the end of the day, you're still going to be blamed anyway. That is what it is.
yeah, yeah.
So you have to first of all look out for yourself. And in so doing, what are those things? And this question you ask is a very vital one. Am I okay? If you know you're not okay, start looking for solutions. If you
Mm,
know
That's
you are
right.
okay and you're genuinely okay, fine. That's it. You're strong enough. You can, anything that is coming, you can fend it off or something. But if you tell yourself the truth, first of all, that is what you owe yourself. If you're okay, fine. If you're not, look for a solution. That's
mm.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Colin.
Yes, Uzo has just nailed it. That's exactly what I was about to say. And you just mentioned it. There should be some lots of, not even one or two, different groups though, for different things men are going through. I will say this, a very close friend of mine was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So he was advised to join one group where men who've been diagnosed with it, who've gone through it, some of them, the operation was successful, some of them not successful and whatnot, share their experience. And that helped a lot because he was calling me, asking me for advice because he knows that, I'm versatile. I can like look into different things. So I explained to him, I said, listen, I'm not the best person or in the best position to advise you, but you've got this group, and that group helped him a lot. Sometimes men would cry. And the funny thing, one of the side effects of the medication that he was on, the hormone therapy treatment, makes him cry. It's one of his side effects. So he would
Mm,
cry a lot, and he's there because he's looking at his life thinking, what am I living for? Sometimes you have suicidal thoughts and lots of things playing on his mind. But that group helped him a lot. And most of them there, they can talk and cry, especially because some of them are looking at their lives thinking, well, I think I don't think there's anything to live for. So forming groups for different activities or different elements or whatever you're going through is very, very nice. People who are going through divorce, there should be group for, for men going through that so they can get experience, or for people who've been there, what they went through. So you know that, oh, I thought mine was really worse, but somebody's, own whatever he went through is even worse than mine. And you
Mm.
can also get advice from them. People who are looking for jobs, because most men, when they don't have jobs, the woman is the
Depression
head of
sets
the
in.
home. Yes,
Yeah.
and they're now being controlled by these women. I am saying this because a friend of mine is going through that right now. He will be washing the plates. In fact, he's like a houseboy because the woman is the breadwinner, the wife is the breadwinner. So these are things that you might have, like a group which is designated just for that, talk to you, looking for job, because he's not highly educated. So definitely he's not going to get a better job than the wife. But that's his life, that's his plight. Even if he wants to file for divorce, he doesn't even have the money. So, but he has to go through that now throughout his life. But what would help him? These groups. So the group thing is very good.
Mm.
Sometimes again, you can have just one friend that you can confide in and talk to. So long as you have somebody to talk to that can advise you as well. Quality advice, advice that will help you, that will edify you. You
Yeah.
understand? So that's how I'm looking at men. These are things that we need to look into. Just like you have the dating sites. You go
Mm.
and they find their partner and they fuse, and that's it. So lots of things that we men can explore so that we ourselves would not be like, going through all these things and not getting support.
Nobody
Another thing I want
supports.
to add quickly, because the question is like taking it out on people or someone like your wife, your children. It's easy for you to take it out on someone when you know you're going through a lot. A friend of yours could just a little joke here and there, and you just get upset and shout and scream. Perhaps you become physical. Why? Because you've been bottling up things. So talking to
Mm.
people will help a lot.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me take this chat. Hi, Edith. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for joining. Cinda says, is it not better to speak out, cry, etc., than bottle it all up and end up with a time bomb inside of you, which can lead to ending up in a psychiatric home, depression, or suicide? Amaka says, I prefer when someone speaks out rather than bottling it up. Voicing it out maybe may let the second person understand the crux of the matter, that they may not even know what they are doing was wrong. And Cindy says, unfortunately, there are more support groups for women than men, which is true. This stigma against men needs to stop. And it starts from our homes, our communities, neighborhoods, churches, and other religious organizations. So, serious comments there from Amaka and from Cindy. Amaka thinks it's better for somebody to speak up instead of bottling it up, because whoever it is that's offending you, they might not know that you've done you wrong or whatever. And Cindy says, you know, it's better to speak up as well. So they are saying the same thing. So, what are your thoughts about these comments from Amaka and Cindy? Uzo?
Yeah, Amaka and Cindy, thank you for your comments. Yeah, I totally agree with them. It's better for men to speak up. Yeah, I totally agree with those comments. I also want to chip in something here. It is better that we don't even get here in the first instance. And that is, it goes back to parenting. I know what I'm talking about. I have lived it. Last month I was 52, so I can conveniently tell you I have over 50 years of experience in living. The generation between 35 down to the way they are bringing up them, I mean, the way they brought them up was what affected so many of them. They want to live fast life. They don't have any cultural values. And, so many things. I can go on and on and on. And they don't even believe in the institution of marriage. And they don't know that it is wrong to hit a woman and all that. I can't even remember when I hit a woman last. Even, I can't. But these days, that's the first thing you see, even on socials and all that, even in your skits, you see them slapping and all that. So all these things, whether you want to believe it or not, parenting has a lot to do. And it's even getting worse as the generations are going from millennials to Gen Z, now to Gen Alphas and all that. Yes, we're in a digital space and all that, and digital is insurgent. And the insurgency of the digital space is such that it is happening in seconds. Yeah, AI is being developed even daily in seconds as we speak to get more intelligent and all that. It will get to a time that AI will rebel against humans and all. It has happened in films, and films have been known to be precursors of things that
Exactly.
really happen. Yeah, and that's just the truth. Even from the things I've been reading now, it's already happening. There is a particular AI that was trying to prove to the human that was feeding it that it knows more than it and all that. It's something that will happen. And these things you can use to better advance humans. It also has its downsides. So you cannot say that, okay, now you're going to stop this. You're going to live with them. But while living with all these, vices, permits me to use the word, it's not that it is the right word to use or something. You're also supposed to be alert here to know that, hey, I'm supposed to be in charge of this as humans. And that is where parents have left their duties, and it's the truth. These days, both of them want to be the breadwinner. My pastor, before he died, was very emphatic. If you know that one of you cannot be at home to train up a child, don't give birth. He was emphatic. He didn't say it has to be the man or the woman, but one of you within those formative ages of 1 to 12 or 13, one of you cannot be a full-time. Don't give birth. Because whether you like it or not, because parents have ceded their duties to nannies, to uncles, to aunties, to all that, that is where. And once you're about 15, 16, it's so difficult to lose a habit that you formed for 16 years because those are the most formative years, whether you like it or not.
Totally.
So we shouldn't have gotten here, but hey, we are here already. We're here. So, but I have to quickly delve into that because we're having them very soon. I don't know what the generation after Alpha will be called or something. It's a continuous world, whether we like it or not, until the kingdom comes.
The things they come up with, actually, these children of these days, these things they come up with, the things they say, you think
things you won't believe it. You're in the university, you're thinking of using your classmates for rituals. It's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some have even used their parents already.
Got that from?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're under 16 or about 16. How did you even come up with that?
I saw a 9-year-old, 2 9-year-olds already plotting. They just happened to catch them. They were going to use their parents.
Jesus.
What does a 9-year-old know about making money and then using somebody for ritual? So I can't even begin to figure it out.
Yeah. So that's it. So men, I would rather we didn't get here, but we're already here, like I said. And we have to, first of all, tell ourselves the truth, where we missed it, and from there start tracing how we're going to solve this issue. Because this issue is on the front burner now. Men, we are endangered species, with all due respect to the women. It used to be a man's world as they used to paint it before. It is no longer the case.
No longer, no.
It is no longer the case. That's the truth. And I'm not trying to be chauvinistic here or be a misogynist or something at any time. I'm far from that. I'm just painting a very, clear picture of the world we live in right now. And for us to be very cognizant of what we are doing as humans, because whether we like it or not, it is impacting on our generation and the generations that are coming. So we must learn, man or woman, to treat humans as human, because at the end of the day, I always go with what Horace Mann talks about. we should be ashamed to die until we have won some victory for humanity. Be ashamed to die until you
Mm.
have won at least one victory for humanity. Because at the
That's
end
a
of
good
the
one.
day, it's all about humanity. Once we lose that, we are animals. That's it.
That's a good one. Collins, any comments before I go to the chats?
Well, no comments. I agreed with everything Uzo has said. It's important, as he was saying, we're here now. We can't turn the hands of the clock. We're here, but what are we going to do now for us to like live a life that we're going to say, yes, I'm happy with what I'm doing or what I've done? You
Mm.
understand? I know, yes, it might be like it's late, but it's not too late. You know?
Mm.
So whatever you're doing wrong, what we're discussing here can help you. We can inculcate things, ideas into you for you to look and say, yes, calling to Uze made a valid point. I think I might start looking down that road. That's why we're having this chat show, so that we can inculcate things into others. But well
Yeah,
done, Uze. I like the way you actually narrated it.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stan. Stan says, sadly, men are calibrated to bottle up too much. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're talking about, honestly. And Cindy says, um, those formative years are very important. Once the behaviors are formed, it's difficult to change in the teenage years. Parents need to listen more to their children. Don't ignore them. If you don't listen to the children, there are many out there ready to take advantage of them and pretend to listen and care for them.
Yeah,
Totally,
that's a
totally,
good
Very
one.
true.
Yeah.
totally. But the thing is, what I find is that actually a lot of the parents nowadays, how can you teach what you don't even know yourself? You can't give what you don't have. A lot of them, the way they act, even on social media, you're not surprised why their kids will behave like that. And I'm talking about 40 something year olds, sometimes even 50 something year old people, they act the fool.
Yep.
You start wondering how, what are your children looking at? If your child starts behaving in a very stupid and nonsensical way tomorrow, who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the social media? You're not setting a good example for them.
Oh,
See, Juliet, thank you so much, Mrs. Juliet Archie-Pearce. That's Colin's wife, by the way. Okay. And we are going to have a marriage series, and I'm officially Mrs. Pierce, please, if you don't mind. I've invited Collins, and he's going to speak to you because I would like for you both to be in the marriage series as well, because we want to learn from your words of wisdom. And also, if you're married, and I'm sure you are, I would love to invite you guys to that marriage series as well, because there's so much. This is all about trying to make the best, and make out the best version of ourselves for people
yeah.
as well. So we would love for you guys to be in that series. And Mrs. Pierce says, creating a safe space for men to express their emotions can help break down barriers. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. And Amaka says, I concur with Uzo. The Bible says, train up a child the way he should go. When he grows, he will not depart from it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now the other question is, if a young man is watching right now and is silently drowning in shame or pain, or they've done something that is unbelievable, what would you want them to know? Uzo. Oh, is this all gone?
No, he's
Did you
there.
hear
Might
me?
have
No, it's frozen. It's frozen.
he's
Colin, take it
frozen.
away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. First and foremost, we're not impeccable. We're liable to mistakes. Everyone makes mistake. So
true.
whatever you would have done, how shameful it is, find a way to just get out of that mess. One, you can talk to people, go for counseling. You can also like pray and ask God to, because okay, Uzo is back because he's highly
Yeah.
religious just like myself. Prayer is the key to everything. I prayed
Hmm.
when I was going through difficult times. I prayed a lot and God consoled me. So whatever you've gone through or you're going through, whatever you've done in the past, don't feel ashamed because you're not the first, you're not going to be the last. Just
That's right.
remember, people have made such mistakes, even worse mistakes in the past. You look
Mm.
now and say, okay, I have done this, I need to move on. I'm not going to sit down and keep crying or kill myself because of what I've done. Even when you've done something against the state, you condemn prisoner, you go to prison, you come out again. When you're there, they try to see how they can reform you, try to mold you, get you back into shape, and go outside and now live a better life. So please, if anyone has done anything that they're ashamed of, or drowning in shame or pain or whatever, find someone to talk to. Listen to this kind of talk shows because it helps a lot. People who are here, Uzo and myself, we've gone through a lot of things that we want to share with people. And obviously, Queen Cleopatra she's like, I don't know how to say it, but she knows how to put things in a nutshell which can help you to live a better life.
Yeah.
Please don't let anything make you feel like you want to kill yourself, or you've done the worst thing on earth. You shame, buried your head in shame, and don't want to go outside and live your life. You only got one life to live. Please, 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 I'm saying this. Pray. God, prayer is the answer. Thank you.
Totally. Uzo.
Yeah, I will quickly want to jump on the Japanese experience for me. You understand? Tokyo is the largest populated city in the world. I think there are about 40 million people inside of Tokyo. And you know, Japan is an island and all that. It's a small place compressed, but it's also one of the safest cities in the world. There is something the Japanese people are getting right. They've never allowed their technology at the time they were number one. I think they are still hovering between number one and number three, technological wise. They never allowed that to infiltrate their culture. Japanese people still bow. Japanese people are very respectful. Japanese people, they have their phones, they know when to drop it, they know when to sleep, even in class, even at work. There is a sleep break. There is something the Japanese people are doing right. And I think we should start looking at them as an example because it's very easy to say, okay, seize your phone, do this, do this. Oh, you don't want them to know what is happening. You don't know. They still have phones in Japan. They are the manufacturers of these phones. We are not smarter than them. So you taking the phone off the child for a moment doesn't mean the child is going to be dull or something, or you telling the child that this is the way to go. Yes, like someone said in the comments, you must create a safe place for children, but they must also be disciplined. And discipline doesn't come in a day. It is inculcated in your being. It's as simple as that. You don't just wake up and be disciplined. It is inculcated, from age one because they come out smart these days.
Yes.
Yes, from age one.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they come out smart these days. So you inculcate discipline. And once you can create a safe place, yes, I agree and all that. But let them understand that this is how things should be, and it should be maintained like that, even though you're going to add your experiences, your knowledge, and whatever you have to eat. It doesn't still stop that things have to be this way.
Hmm.
And that is what Japan is doing. And for me, they are winning.
All right. That's totally profound. Yeah. I'll play the angels advocate. Collins, before I let you take this the answer, I am going to play the angels advocate. Now, we know this. I saw a video some time ago where they showed Asian children, I think they were probably Japanese children or Chinese children, right? At the age of 2 and 3, they were already creating things,
Mhm.
building things and doing things that, even I as an adult, I'm thinking, do you know what I mean? And then they showed another video of African children, the same age. And what were they doing? They were either some in church doing whatever, or they were playing football with big stomachs, naked in the streets or whatever. And I'm thinking, and they were trying to say that we are raising our children to be, a certain way without using they more or less committing intellectual suicide, right? Why they are raising their kids to actually be the ones that even the African children will end up serving in the future because they're
Yeah,
already up there.
that's right.
Okay, so how do we draw the line? Colin, please answer the question. But yeah, I just wanted to to bring this as well before we round up?
Well, you see, as Oze was just saying, we need to teach our children. Some people will do it very late. Some parents, let me don't say people, but at the age of 2, if you start doing that at the age of 2, it's better. Spend time with your kids as well. Sometimes the kid, because the parent should be your best friend, the person who will teach you things. If you don't teach your children, they learn it from outside. Now we have to balance things out. Yes, all work and no play
Exactly.
makes Jack a dull boy. Find the time for them to study. Find the time for them to involve in something lucrative, something that would help them in the future. Okay, yes, we're not saying they shouldn't play football or do all these things and blah blah blah. But you see the Japanese kids as you're talking about just now, they're inculcating these things to them at a very early age. By the time they turn 12, they're geniuses. Those things are like easy for them to do, while our kids would struggle. So parents should start at an early age. You see, my son, he was doing his GCSE. So I said, okay, you know what? Your phone is a distraction. Well, you only get your phone on Saturday to play and do your thing, but from Sunday to Friday, you have to study, no phones. He got used to it. Saturday, he would get his phone. Sunday morning, he would come to me and, Dad, look at my phone, keep it for me. I need to study. There was a time the mom went to well, my mom is even on the chat, so she can testify to this. Went to ask him if he wanted. He goes, Mom, no, I'm studying. So I was so happy. So, but it takes time to get these things for the kids to understand. When once you let them know what you're doing, you're not punishing them, you love them, but you're teaching them the right things. Because some parents, they will spoil their kids rotten.
And
I'm
that's not
sorry to
love.
say this. It's not love. You think you're showing love to your kids? Some men still don't know how to cook because their mom will not even allow them to even cook rice or anything. They
The
will just
Mm-hmm.
serve
kitchen.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to help our kids. It's helping them, in fact. So I'm so pleased to say this that my son is like, and now I said, you finish your exams, you can go anywhere you want to go. You have your phone and what's not. But he's so used to studying that he's not even on his phone now that much as he
Mm,
was before. You see, so these are things that works. Anyway,
mm.
I don't want to speak too much because I know Uzo has something to say.
No, no, but you are hitting the nail on the head continuously.
Yeah.
And that is what this is all about. And I'm glad you have examples. I don't have kids yet, so, and I'm not going to start lying here, but I'm glad that you see, you're putting what we're talking about here
To action.
into, into your family, and you're seeing the results. So
Yeah,
it's just for the audience to know that, hey, these people are not just here talking about what they haven't lived or experienced. They
Mm-hmm.
are talking about, the realities of life and all that. You have to let them understand, create a safe place. But hey, this age, this, you need to be this, you need to be this, you need. Then, like you said, when you finish, this is your phone. So you're raising people that are conscious that they are humans and there are wrongs and there are rights, and of course, also let them understand the society that they are in.
the
Like
aim.
black
Yep.
kids in America now, and if you are a male and you're a mother or a father in America and you are blacks, there is something you have to continuously tell your kid about when he is pulled up by the
By
police.
police.
Simple.
Straight up.
Because man
Straight
will
up.
remain a resource,
Yep.
man will remain a confluence of his emotions and feelings, but man is subject to his environment and his yearnings.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Very
So
true.
you have to. If they pull
Yep.
you up, what to do, where to place your hands, so that they won't have any excuse at all. You have
Yep.
to. Because
Hmm.
if not, when it happens, it happens. They carry placards, they do this, they do. That's the end. At the end of the day, you are the one that has lost somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So,
true.
like I said, first of all, we have to be self conscious as men, understand our values and our roles in the society and in our families. There is a reason that God made. Forget all this feminism and all that. With all due respect to women, I respect women, I respect them, but I have seen that so many people have weaponized feminism and they
Mm.
want to upstage the natural things that the natural things the way God has put these things to be.
We're not
You
feminists
know,
in this platform
some
at
of
all.
them, so many, and at the end of the day, you find out that they realize the mistake too late.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Yes.
a reason God said a man is the head of the family. It doesn't mean he is Lord over you. It
Yep.
doesn't mean you are the slave as a woman. There's a reason God said, you, the woman, you are the helpmate of this dude. There is a reason because he is the creator. So it doesn't
Totally.
mean that, hey, it is the man here and the woman here. That is not what that statement means or that scripture means. There is a reason. So you must understand when you have a male child to know that from beginning, this person is going to be a husband, this person
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a father, this person is going to be an uncle, this person is going to be this and this and that. And you start inculcating those values from day one. Because if you don't, like Cleopatra is saying, the internet is there to do it for you, not even
Yeah,
friends. Internet is
absolutely.
there for you, and it will sure do a damn good job, yeah, on the other way around. Yeah,
And it'll be too late by then.
it will be too late by then.
Mhm.
Then you
Yep.
now start blaming technology.
Yeah.
Technology is supposed, you're supposed to use it for something good.
No, they'll blame the school, they'll blame
Yes.
they'll blame everybody
Or
but
start playing
themselves.
school or peer
Mm-hmm.
pressure.
Mm-hmm.
No, as a parent, first of all, there are things that you should have done
Mm.
within those formative ages, and it is
Mm.
very important. You can't shy away from that.
Yeah.
If not, then don't be. It's a choice. Actually, some
Totally.
people say they don't want to give birth or something. Yeah, it is better than bringing vagabonds to earth. It's as simple as that. It's the
True.
truth. So
True.
if you give birth, be conscious that you too, as a parent now, you have a function in this child's life, and the way you train up the child is the way. Yes, there are a few exceptions to these things. Yes, it doesn't all work out, but hey, 95% of the time, even the 5% that go astray, they will turn around later on in
Mm.
life. Go
Yeah.
check it.
Mm.
They come to a point of realization, just like the prodigal son, and they will come back
Mm.
because those values are still there.
Mm.
Mhm.
That is, it's just the truth, whether you like it or not.
Very true. Very
Yeah,
true. Stan says every man needs a father figure.
exactly.
Young men need to look for older men to be accountable to. And the older folks need to work diligently on their own accountability for the ecosystem to be sustainable. 100%. Special K, thank you so much for joining as well. Special K says the Japanese culture actually came from Nigeria. Interesting.
Ah.
And you are right. You are right. They never gave up what they learned from us. But we have walked away from the culture and values of our forefathers. Now we follow false cultures and religions. Interesting, Special K. Interesting. I didn't know that the Japanese culture actually came from Nigeria. You might be right because our forefathers, look at how they lived. Look at how they lived. So, yeah, you may have a point there. And Juliet says, identify what went wrong and how to improve. Absolutely. And Riri says, well done, Colin. Good home training. As I was like that with my kids. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Cindy says, parents need to place themselves in a position that your children can have a heart to heart conversation with you. They know that they have parents who listens and does not judge or condemn them. We listen without judging. Edith
Mhm.
says some of the issues are so many single parents where they need to work. Okay, some of the issues are so many single parents. Okay, so you mean like when single parents, maybe a single dad or single mom doesn't have the child doesn't have the presence of the other person, so there's a deficit or deficiency of a parent to actually co raise the kids. I totally agree as well. You have a point. You have a point. Cindy says parents who believe in them. And special case says the man is the Lord over his wife. Sorry, I disagree. Okay, you disagree. I don't think he meant it in that way, special K. I don't think it's the Bible says that we should submit to our husbands, and the man should love us.
Love.
We submit to them. When you submit to somebody who is head over you, I think if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think when you're supposed to submit, although the Bible says that we submit to one another in love, I agree. But he specifically, the Bible specifically says that we as women we submit to our men. But I would say a caveat is that I need to submit to a man who is worth submitting to, because some men doesn't they don't bring anything to the table. As a matter of fact, they are bad examples of what fathers should be. So you can't submit to a man like that, because he has to be a good father and a good husband. You don't want to submit to a man who is a drunk, a man who doesn't come home, a man who beats you in front of your kids. That's difficult to submit to. But generally, we should submit to good men, I would say. So I see where you're coming from, Special K, as well. And I will leave Colin and Uzo to comment on that. Um, and Stanley says, excellent parenthood should be a combination of strictness and vulnerability. I say this from recent experience with my own son. Tell us what happened with your own son, Stan. That would be so good. Um, and Special Case says, a wicked woman is the portion of a wicked man. Okay. A wicked woman is the portion of a wicked man. Times is not always the case, though. I have heard of stories where the man was an amazing husband, but the woman was just wicked, devious, and evil for no reason. Like the man didn't do anything to her. I'm a woman, so I'm not gonna, say I'm just gonna support women because I'm a woman. Sometimes it's good to just keep it real and be honest. There are some women out there who are vile, and you wonder where they came from the pit of hell or something. Yeah, because there's still some good men out there. It's just that sometimes they're carried away by the beauty and the big back size and the boobs, that they forget the character, and then they marry them, and then after that they see that the big boobs and the big back sides don't do nothing when it comes to character of the woman, and then they start thinking, what have I done? Hey ho, it is what it is. Special care, you says that lie. That's what the Bible says. Now, no, not lie. Okay, talking. Colin, Uzo, what do you respond to these comments?
All right.
Let me. Okay,
Okay,
Uzo, you
Colin,
go
go,
ahead.
go, go, Colin. Go
Okay,
ahead.
you see, people misinterpret the Bible. At times, it's easy for us to just take things out of context. The Bible says, yes, wife, be submissive to your own husband. It also says, husband, love your wife. It's a two-way street. If the husband shows love to the wife, you don't need to tell your wife to be submissive to
Automatically.
you.
That's
That's
right.
it's exactly. But some men will stand there, bully their wife. I mean, all sorts of things they do to them are telling them, I am the head, you should submit to me. But where is the love that you're showing to the wife? It's a two-way street. You see, like me and my wife, the way I shower her with love and everything. Sometimes she will just come and ask me, "You want to eat now?" I say, "Wait, when you eat, we'll eat together." Sometimes I don't even let her dish up my food, because it's a two-way street. Submission, yes, it's there, but people, men in particular, will always look at this and say, "Oh, she's not respecting me. She's not doing this for me. I mean, blah blah blah." But what are you doing for that woman to feel loved? That she would be inclined or sensitized to say, "You know what? My husband loves me so much. Let me just show him that I care. I want to be his heartbeat or something." I don't want to go too much, because when we start doing a marriage thing, that's going to be a very interesting topic.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Uzo.
Yeah, I'm glad that Colin started this. To When I said what I said, I was very specific about it. I said it doesn't mean it's a slave and master relationship. I remember saying it doesn't mean that the men are here and the woman, and the women are here. I was very emphatic about what I said. I was quoting a scripture in the Bible, and we all know that scripture. For reasons best to people, some people try to be um, knowledgeable when they are and all that are more than the scriptures that have been written. But this explanation from Collins just takes it all. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. It's a two-way street. Yeah. submit to your husbands, husbands love your wives or something. There is a reason God said that. I maintain it. And no matter the way anybody wants to turn it around or something, yeah, it's all good. They are free to, but I maintain it. There is a reason God said that. Humans, we have rearranged what God is trying to do. That's why we're having so many of these issues in the first instance. That's just the truth. We have so much because we're now using our own knowledge. We're being guided by our own knowledge and all that. And it's something that has been happening. The first sin wasn't in the Garden of Eden. No. So let's not be there. Yeah, the first sin was in heaven. Simple. When Satan disobeyed God,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. Yeah, that's it. That was the first sin. It wasn't in the Garden of Eden. So yeah, we cannot be more knowledgeable than the Creator. It's as simple. It's not an AI and a human relationship. This is a creator, somebody that created the whole universe. Yeah. And I'm talking about galaxies unknown that are still being found out, and all that. So you cannot, and it was emphatic when he said, where your wisdom ends is where is, I can't remember,
It's where his own knowledge begins. Yeah.
Very well now, Yeah. So that is not, nobody is contesting that except we just want to be funny with that or something. And I know why I said that. I was just talking about the family as a unit because that's the first thing Satan, attacks. That unit. Look at the clear example from one of the audience now. Single parenting has become a norm. And because of that, it's affecting the kids. So the person was saying the truth. And how did that come about? The rate of divorce is high up there. People don't value marriages again. How many marriages left? Stay up to 10 years this time. Yeah, the threshold of patience, of endurance, and everything is very low these days. And that is the grand plan of Satan in the first place, because it was always attacking the family, because that is God's plan, that the family lives together, that there is procreation and there is multiplicity and all that. So it's a very simple thing, and of course we in our carnal knowledge will believe that we know better, or that is how it's being done now or something. No. It is a Bible verse that I was quoting, and it doesn't mean that it was a slave or a master relationship. It is something of common sense. If you wash this hand, this one will wash this one, and both of them will be clean.
True.
Simple.
True. Special Case says, you seem to have forgotten that the culture has changed, and now we are told men and women are equal. There is a lot of external influence that affects the women. And Stanley agrees with you and says, yes, you were clear, Uzo. Special Case says, please understand the Bible does not say they are equal. Where did you read that in the Bible? The first sin in heaven? So apparently Special Case doesn't agree with you, Uzo, that the first sin was not in heaven. Okay, so Special Case, where was the first sin? You think it was in the Garden of Eden? Okay. Maybe we'll talk about, we're going to have a show about religion and certain things that we know, or we think we know, and then we'll see how we can actually break that down. How is that, Special Case? Just make sure you keep watching, okay? Because we're going to have quite a lot of shows from time to time. Any comments before I make my summation, guys? Uzod, Collins, anything else?
No, none from me.
No? Perfect.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, first of all, like Colin said, these things we may take for granted, but somebody is listening out there, or somebody will talk about this, and maybe it will help one soul, just one person, and that will have been the essence of the show at the end of the day. So I don't take anything for granted or something. I'm glad to be on the show, being the first one. And I want to also say that, hey, keep up the good work. Like I keep telling you, keep going. It may not make sense now, but ultimately, It will make sense later as
Yeah.
you keep going. But this is a very good one and a platform to reach out to people and to talk about those things that people don't want to talk about. Because all this wokeism is what is killing
Mm-hmm.
us right now. All this wokeness. I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this, I want. But I thank God that everybody somehow now, all of us don't rearrange ourselves
True.
again. Somehow, people have started. Even even the International Olympic Committee and all those sports things. If you know what
Yes.
I'm talking about, everybody has started
Yeah.
rearranging now. Somehow to say what are we doing to ourselves? We just want to, scatter humanity, and that's not it.
True.
That's not it.
True. Thank you so
And
much.
I'm glad
Thank
to be here.
you. Thank you
Glad
so
to be
much,
here.
gentlemen. Thank
Yeah.
you, Collins. Thank you, Uzo. Honestly, it's been an amazing show. I'll quickly take
Yeah.
this last messages from Special K. I think it was Special K. Honestly, your contribution is invaluable. I can't even tell you how important. So is everyone who has contributed today. And Special K says, please understand the Bible does not say they are equal. Where did you get that from? Satan does not act on his own or has power over God. Please read the book of Job and you will see Satan and all the sons of God reporting. Okay, we know that Satan was one of the sons of God, but he was cast down. The first sin was started by idolatry, and the Bible says Eve sinned first. First Timothy and second and Kings, and but Adam was deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Okay, and Juliet says, "Love your show. It's very interesting and an eye opener. Thank you so much, everyone. Honestly, like but to you, my co-host in the chats, thank you so much for your contributions. Every single one of you, I can't begin to name all the names. Everyone has been just amazing. Thank you so much for all you have contributed, and to my guests, And if this conversation is striking a nerve, please don't just sit in silence. Yeah, like the video, please share it and comment and share with somebody who needs to know and who needs to at least have an idea of what this is about. Like I said, this is a 4-part series, and so it's not just going to be this part. We've got like 3 more episodes coming. But while we are wrapping up, what have we heard tonight? We've heard tonight that this is more than a conversation. It was a confession, it was a revelation, it was liberation. We unmasked pain, we called out lies, we saw that even kings bleed in silence. People who are, we said they're strong, they do cry now and again. And here's what we now know: men need a safe space to be vulnerable without being ashamed. Success should not come at the cost of your sanity or your soul. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay not to be okay. I say that again. It is okay not to be okay. And it's not weak to seek therapy. It's not weak to seek community. It's not weak to seek God. Yes, I said so because sometimes, and I'm glad that the 2 guests we had today talked about praying and talking about God, because whether it is, you're a Muslim or a Christian, you know, whatever religion you belong or you believe, seek God, the God of all creation, right? It is strength in the highest form to seek God, right? It's not, you're not weak. Let us raise young men with emotional literacy, not just muscle. Let us redefine strength, not as silence, but as truth. Let us stop burying men in expectations and start resurrecting them in freedom. Because the expectations sometimes it can get so pressurized in them that they start acting up in so many ways because they don't know where else to turn, right? Because behind every smile also there might be a scream, right? Behind every strong man there may be a broken one, no matter how strong they may seem to be. But healing starts with the truth, admitting to yourself that you need help, admitting to yourself that you're not as strong as you think, admitting to yourself that it's okay to pray, it's okay to seek help, it's okay to cry on somebody's shoulder. But like Uzo said earlier, with somebody you trust, people that you seek help from, people that you know you can trust, that will not disappoint you or betray the confidence that you placed on them. So if you're watching this and you feel that you can empathize or you understand what we've talked about, don't wait. If you feel like you've been through some of the things that we've talked about, talk to somebody, reach out. If you want to DM me, please feel free to do so also. I can point you in the direction of somebody who might be able to help you. As a matter of fact, I have some helplines here that I put on the I put here on the show. If you're going through any kind of depression or suicide, there are some organizations actually that can help you. And I made sure that I curated the list from all over the world. So if you're living in, the UK or Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Tunisia, you got organizations here. And if you need a copy of this, just DM me and I'll be happy to send you a copy of it. Also, if you've been abused, because males, like we talked about ego earlier on, they don't normally like to talk about the fact that they've been abused. So if you've been abused, or you're going through abuse right now, there is organizations all over the world, in the UK, USA, all over the world, that you can actually seek help. I also have that list. So please DM me as well, and I'll be happy to share that information with you as well. Yeah, guys, up next week. Guys, you don't want to miss next week. We're going to be talking about power, sex, lies, the dark side of manhood. Trust me, it's going to shake the internet. All right. So just
So please
subscribe,
share,
guys.
please share, please share.
Yes,
Next
please
week's
share it.
gonna
Share
be
this show.
please.
Honestly, I kind of look, listen, I was saying to somebody earlier during the week, I said, look, if I had a bikini on and I was twerking on the internet, I'll have 1 million subscribers by now,
More than a
right?
million.
Exactly. If I had just a bikini or even little or nothing and I had everything out there, I will probably be on CNN and everywhere. We're here with all these amazing titans, legends that I bring onto this show. And we're here trying to impact knowledge to try to make us better versions of ourselves or whatever. And I'm literally begging people to join the show or to subscribe. And I'm thinking, I'm not making any money out of this. Subscription is free. But yet people don't want to come into a show to actually help better their lives. They'd rather watch people who are killing themselves, people who are doing money ritual, people who are naked, people who are having sex and all kinds of stuff. The world is becoming interesting, to say the least. But anyway, proceed. Please share with your brother, your father, your husband. Just let the healing begin. Let the truth be told. And let the masks finally fall off once and for all. Until next time, guys. Thank you so much to my guest once again, Uzo. Thank you to Collins. And I hope to see you guys next week as well. Yeah. I hope you both are coming next week. And also to my
Definitely.
guests on the show, on the chat. Thank you to my Empower Royals on the chat, my co-host. Thank you so much. This has been Empower Life with Cleopatra. And this is Cleopatra. Until next time, be bold, be kind, but most of all, be empowered. Thank you so much, guys, once again. Bye-bye. Take care.
Empower life with
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Cleopatra.
Thank you.
Awaken the best version of you. Unlock your true potential. Empower your mind, body, and soul. Live with intentions, live with a purpose. Empower your dreams, make it happen today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you.